Good morning, good morning. God bless you. For if God has waken you up this morning, then of course He has plans for you. You see, the Lord is always worthy. And if you develop a relationship with God on a daily basis, He will also then find you worthy. For He says His Son Jesus Christ was worthy. He was the one that was to come to fulfill the laws. And in fact, was the proper sacrifice, the one that was indeed able to open the scrolls that will take us from condemnation, the scrolls that will bring the sins upon the earth so that those who are righteous and those who are not will be filtered. Understand that Jesus came to fulfill the laws. Now, why am I saying this morning? You see, relationship with God is essential to your growth. And I want people to understand that, you see, unity is with God. It is not with the people. Now, connecting with people to worship God is a good thing. But just remember, when you connect with people, what are you connecting with? Because what part of the human spectrum are you connecting with? Are you connecting with the physical part, the mental part, or the spiritual part? Because you see, the spiritual part is straight from God. And so the unity is with God. And the more people that have God in them that connects becomes a bigger and larger scale of God's presence, which means God. So understand that unity is with God. It is not with the people, because the people are the flesh part. Understand that your entirety of your being, your power source, comes from God, and God chooses to use whoever is obedient, whoever has the character. You see, very much on this earth, we have noticed that there's a lot of changes in how things should be. Like, for example, when God gave the abilities in the times of Noah to the people, and that they knew every single language because they were able to communicate amongst themselves. They were great architects. They can build. They were structured. They didn't have no issues in connecting and building and making and growing as a society. They had no issues simply because God gave them those abilities, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. However, the obedience of them keeping God first was then flushed down the drain. You see, what I want people to understand is the people of Babel decided to build, right, a temple so that they can, in fact, connect with God, right, by going to heaven. So they kept building up, building up, building up, building up. They never gave the praise to God. They just kept doing it simply because they had the abilities, but they did not recognize where the abilities came from. And so when they did this, God decided to scatter them and said, well, look at these people. They do not recognize me as their one God. They have forgotten about me, or they're forgetting about me. So what I must do is, in fact, show them that I am God and that I am going to save them, simply because if they are not humble, if they're not obedient, then they will no longer have access to me and my connectivity of abilities that I have given to them. And so God did scatter them into different tribes and different sections of people, and certain types of people were able to understand, very few people, but they were broken down. Understand that there is so many organizations out there that still have this notion of understanding that this type of way of teaming up is still a possibility. You cannot outsmart God because God is the number one. And so he is the Almighty. He is the power source that you cannot defeat simply because the power that exists in you is directly from him. He gave you that power source, and you can never destroy the power source. So put your faith in God, not in people, not in the physical unity of people, but in the spiritual unity of God, because the spiritual unity of people is the connectivity of God. And so God's part in you makes the spiritual ability the good one. And if you decide to use that ability for your evil deeds, what happens is the darkness that you are hiding in will be revealed simply because God sees all and God shines the light upon those who have hidden in darkness. And darkness does not have any salvation, does not have no peace. Build your foundation on solid grounds, not on quicksand. Because as you can see, there is an understanding that quicksand, there's many, but it cannot stand because it is quick and fast. But on solid grounds and solid foundation, it is stable. And so your character should be stable. Your character should be built on patience, understanding, and what? Confidence, right? Solidness, truth. Because only then will you be able to elevate. Only then will you be able to grow. Simply because I am not the judge of the world, but God is. And God uses people to judge nations simply because the amount of power source of God in them has reached a level that overtakes all the other people's God impact in their lives, if you understand what I mean. Meaning that, you see, God develops a relationship with you. He is closer to you due to your obedience, due to the amount of trials and tribulations that you've been through, and you still see him as one and the number one God. Once you have seen him as that, understand that he will take you through, just like how Jesus Christ was taken through trials and tribulations for 40 days before he was tested by Lucifer, the devil. Understand that God will take you through because you have to learn this. You see, I cannot say things that it's what's it called mediocre. I have to tell you the exactly simply because you need no dilution in the truth. And you need to understand that everybody is equal, but they are not equal spiritually. Physically they are, but they are not equal spiritually. And understand why God made that a possibility is because everybody's works is similar but different. And how much improvement they make in those works makes things different. And so people learn differently. But spiritually, what are you doing that it's helping you gain the power of access? You see what I mean? Because throughout history, throughout the Bible, we know the prophets, we know the disciples, we know what abilities they had and why they were able to accept those abilities, why God was able to use them the way he did, simply because of their obedience and the efforts that they put in. So it is beyond simplification of things, simply because if you possess great abilities It is because of what God has revealed and what God has risen you to. That is the only matter. It don't matter. Groups of people cannot do nothing if all of them do not possess great and good spiritual abilities. Though they may think that the darkness that they possess within them, right, together may bring a big, strong unity, simply, it is not stronger than even one righteous man. Because the truth is the truth, and the truth trumps all evil at all times. Simply because the demons that were possessed in human beings back in the days when Jesus Christ came upon the earth, right? Even bow to what? Jesus Christ. They knew who Jesus was simply because they know Jesus was the truth and had the truth within them. And so, like, comment, and share this video. Understand that the truth will set you free. That is your main goal in life, to develop a great relationship with God. If you choose not to and you do other things, God says He will show you His word and you will have the opportunity to understand what I have been saying. But if you choose not to listen and if you choose to do your own thing, understand that your salvation is what? No more. Have a great day, guys. Stay motivated. Bye now.